Welcome everyone to USA Crypto Group. Very excited to have Alex and Casey here from DeMe Network to have a chat with us. As always, this is not a financial advice. This AMA is for research purposes only, so that you can make your own financial decisions. So with that said, Alex, welcome to USA Crypto Group. Pleasure to have you here. Very excited. I had a chance to look at your light paper. I think it is something that is needed to be done within the industry. So yeah, I look forward to learn more about the project, yourself, and the team. So how I'd like to start with is Alex and Casey. If you guys can introduce yourself, your responsibilities, with the project, and also talk about your team for a bit. After that, if you can give us an overall vision of the project, then we break down to details.
Okay, so as a lot of you know, my name's Alex. I am the founder of DeMe Network. My background, well, I've been in the crypto space for about 3 years now, mainly as an investor. This is my first crypto project in this space. However, I am a business owner here in New Zealand, and the business that I own and run offers tech solutions to the real estate industry. I also do a lot of business and family trust management and compliance here in New Zealand as well. Casey, my co-founder, he's also a business owner here in New Zealand as well, primarily owning business within the property and the trades industries, and he does a lot of business advisory within the group as well. We do have other core team members as well, one of them being Cleo, who is more so on the marketing side of things, and her main responsibilities fall around marketing when we get to brand awareness, and that will be more so post-launch once we've done a lot of our marketing around getting investors on board and getting our launch marketing done. Casey, is there anything you wanted to add to that little intro?
No, but thanks for introducing me. But yeah, guys, my name's Casey, and nice to meet you all. I'm more of a in the background kind of guy. I give Alex advice on how she should be running things, and just give her an overall idea of how we can make this project run more smoothly in the future and right now. So yeah.
Perfect. Now, Casey, so you're pretty much an advisor and a business strategist. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That's great. From overall, I mean, just looking at the project so far, I kind of see what you guys been doing as far as marketing, and you guys are getting a lot of attentions out there, which is a great thing. Now, besides you two, the reason I'm asking, I want to go in depth with the team is because this is a very ambitious project, very big project. Is there any other team members in your team, Alex?
Yeah, so we are basically the core team, the founding members that are here in New Zealand, and a lot of the teams that we're working with are international. So for our pre-launch marketing, we partnered with a team called Mintex. We really like to be working with established teams within the industries that we need services from. And so we partnered with Mintex for our pre-launch marketing, and we're also just finalizing our developers that we're going to be working with, who are absolute industry leaders in this space in terms of blockchain development, and even just in the tech space in general. And we're really excited to be able, once we get past launch, to be able to announce who they are and get them on our community and chatting with everybody. And so that's basically our core team. So we've got a lot of content. So we are a very international team, but the core team is us based here in New Zealand.
And I'm looking at your website, Norman is also a developer, is that correct? So you have two developers in-house, which is yourself and Norman, is that correct?
Yes, so Norman does a lot of our contract development, so that's what our contract address and just advising on anything around our contract.
Oh, sounds perfect. Yeah, I mean, it looks like your team is filled with, many people from different backgrounds and different experience in order to really implement this ambitious project, which is great. Now, Alex, if you can give us an overall vision and your mission of the project, and why did you come? How did you come up with the concept?
Perfect. So we were looking into this. It was last year when we started to realize that there was a real hole in terms of Web3 social, and that there was a huge monopoly when it came to traditional social media. And that's when we started looking into, okay, what's already out there, and what could we possibly do in the space, and what are the issues in the space currently. And so what we found in terms of the platforms that are already out there for Web3 social is that, the quality just doesn't match that of Web2 social. And so you're never going to be able to tap into that existing user base if you don't have a product that's on par with what they're already getting. And then the other issue that we were finding as well with these platforms is that they were very tailored towards people already in the space. And that's why they're not getting much growth, is because people that are using traditional social media platforms, they're getting very overwhelmed by the platforms being very tailored towards people who understand the area already. And that's something that we're very focused on doing for our project, and even for blockchain technology as a whole, is giving users and all these people that are out there that aren't already familiar with blockchain technology a soft introduction to that, and giving them a very familiar user experience to be able to bring them on board to our platforms and introduce them to this technology in a way that's not going to overwhelm them. And then also, so that's one of the aspects to what we're doing. And in terms of our name, you said DeMe Network. One of the things that we're wanting to do is really make that basically a household name, like DeFi. We're basically wanting to just pioneer the decentralized media space and really make DeMe, a household name, basically the way DeFi is in this space.
Yeah, sounds perfect. So pretty much what you guys are trying to do is you guys trying to disrupt the social media industry, correct? Through the blockchain.
Absolutely. And what we find as well within traditional social media platforms is that the content creators on those platforms, essentially the whole reason that people are on these platforms interacting with each other, because they're enjoying the content that's being posted by all of these creators, we're finding that they're all being so undervalued, because they're literally the heart and soul of these platforms. And I'll be able to refer back to this when we get down the track in terms of the functions of what we're trying to do, and how that relates to how undervalued the content creators are. And another aspect to that as well is the ownership and sovereignty that people have over their content as well. It's basically when they upload it and put it into these centralized platforms, it becomes the property of Facebook and Meta and all these other platforms, and that they don't have any control over their own content.
Yeah, that's correct, Alex. I know how Facebook works. So how Facebook works is whatever they do on their platform, they track everything, right? So every person will have like a folder. So whatever you click on or whatever you search, let's say, for example, basketball, and they will put Alex, likes basketball. So what happened is that they will, like a business that wants to advertise something related to basketball, they will send the information back to Alex. And that's how Facebook works. So yeah, they're all monopolizing the whole industry and monetize it to their benefit for sure. And it's crazy because...
Yeah. And they're essentially selling you back your own information by targeting you with these ads, that they've been able to do so off your online behavior.
Exactly. Yes. And they're very good at that, and somehow they're able to figure out they provide a free platform for regular users, right, to share pictures with your family and friends. But in turns, whatever you do, they record everything and they sell it back to the businesses. which is crazy. And like Alex said, I mean, even the content creator are not being paid the way it's supposed to, and they overcharge the business way too much money. Spend so much money on Facebook, and it's to the point where like you have to continuously spend money, or else they will not show you whatever you want to advertise. And they increase that rapidly every year. So yeah, they're all controlling the whole industry, the whole network. So yes, I'm very happy to see a project like DeMe Network trying to disrupt that. Now, Alex, I do want to ask you, you said that you're going to utilize the blockchain to kind of change the ways of how, social networks do things. Can you give some more like in-depth details how you go about doing that?
Absolutely. So a rundown on what we're wanting to do is basically build out our social blockchain. So that's going to be at the heart of what we're doing. And then on top of that blockchain, we're going to be building our social media platform, our Web3 social media platform, which I've just been discussing with you, and a lot of cool functions and features that we're wanting to build into that to create that fair ecosystem that provides a lot of that sovereignty and ownership back to and a fair ecosystem that we can offer back to our users is one is our reward system. So basically any ad revenue that we're collecting on DeMe Network is going to be redistributed back to our users based on their social activity. So 70% of that ad revenue is going to go back to everybody. And that doesn't even have to be creating content. It's literally people doing exactly what they're already doing, is liking, commenting, sharing, and then also all of these actions are going to be assigned different values, and then they will be redistributed back to our content creators. Another cool feature that we're wanting to put in there as well is an NFT marketplace, which will run within the dApp as well. So we'll have our desktop version and one that runs within the dApp as well, where content creators can then go in and say they upload a photo or a video or even a post, anything like that. They can then mint that as an NFT and be able to sell that or trade it, whatever they like within the platform. And that's just one, a couple ways that we're able to just give back that ownership and to our users and create that fair ecosystem. And there was one more thing I was meant to tell. It just went off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's great. So I want to touch on what you just said there, Alex. So basically, if you guys are using Facebook right now, right, you share content on Facebook, you like, comment, or whatever on Facebook, Facebook right now is actually taking all that money for themselves, right? So what DeMe Network's trying to do is that every time you share or you've been active or like, comment, pretty much what you do on Facebook, except for that now, DeMe Network's going to pay you guys for do that. Is that right, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely correct. And that's the thing that had just gone off the top of my head that I wanted to mention as well, was that we want to also provide our users the ability to have their privacy if they wish to. So another cool function that we're going to have in there as well is that if you don't want any ads or anything like that showing up, you're going to be able to put your profile into a private mode. Essentially, that means you're not going to be getting those rewards, but it gives you that privacy if you want to have it.
Yeah, that's actually very important on the privacy aspect of it, 100%. Because, even now, if you guys pay attention now, I think Facebook is starting to record your voice now. So whatever you say before that, it actually record whatever you type in or whatever you search. But now it's to the whole different level now. It's actually voice recording whatever you say, whether you like it or not. The other day it's funny because I was speaking to a friend about a business concept, and I came back to Facebook literally 5 minutes later, and there was a sponsor ad. Exactly what we were talking about. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But yes, I think that's the next way of Facebook trying to monopolize and monetize the whole industry now. So I think this is a great idea. Now, you mentioned that you you guys building your own blockchain. Is that correct, Alex? And especially because currently you have a lot of social media platforms right now, like you said, is being controlled, and you're pretty much using their dApps, right? So you guys are building a decentralized blockchain, which allows developers to come in to help innovate, but also to build dApps that help the ecosystem. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the amazing things about having your own blockchain is there's just so much potential with it and so many options open to what you can do. And by having that there, so essentially our social media dApp is going to be the showcase dApp on our blockchain. And we really want to be setting the standard for what kind of development we expect on our blockchain. And then once we've been able to release that and get a lot of users on board, we want to then look at branching out and bringing on developers, or I'm sure that we'll get a lot of developers coming and wanting to build on top of our blockchain, because there's so many other possibilities out there. You know, we could look at creating game streaming sites, the likes of Twitch, or video streaming, the likes of YouTube. There's just so many things that can be built on our blockchain.
That is perfect. So you're going to have your own blockchain. And when do you expect that blockchain, your own unique blockchains, to be launched?
Cool. So our timeline, we're looking about 3 to 4 months to have our social media MVP dApp ready to go out for beta testing. And then about a month or two after that, because our liquidity, we've mentioned before that we will be migrating to our own blockchain when that's ready. And so our liquidity is locked for 6 months to allow for that development, and that'll be 3 to 4 months out. And then within that 1 to 2 months, it'll give us enough time to get feedback from our beta testing and weed out any technical issues or anything like that. And then come that 6 months is when we're wanting to be able to migrate over to our new blockchain. And if there is any delays with that, we'll just look at relocking and then pushing that out if we need to. But we're fairly confident that we can get that done within that first 6 months.
Okay, sounds great. And also, you guys were also having your own exchange, correct?
Yes, definitely. That's something that we're going to have on our blockchain. We think that's quite important to have your own exchange on your own blockchain. And we just want to be the ones to build that out, because we want to make sure that it is a very quality experience for the people that are on our blockchain and using our exchange.
Perfect. And what is the timeline for that, Alex?
So that'll all fall within that 6 months. So we want to make sure that we've got all of that ready for when we do move over onto our own blockchain, so that we do kind of have, a complete, it won't be complete in terms of, there's still things like, a launch pad and things like that we can have on the blockchain. But what we've kind of nailed down is what we want as a minimum on our blockchain when we do migrate. We want to have that done in that 6 months.
Perfect. So it's around within 6 months as well. In the NFT marketplace, you would say like around 6 months as well?
Yes, so we need that to be done synonymous with the social media dApp, because that is one of the main functions within the dApp, being able to mint your NFTs from your profile and whatnot.
Perfect. So you guys will have your own social media app, the NFT.
Sorry, I think you just cut out there.
Oh. So I was saying that, so you guys will have your own blockchain. You guys will have an NFT marketplace and also your social media app around 6 months, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let me see what I have on notes here. Now, when you thought about this idea, Alex, what specific social media app that you guys saw the problems? Was there any specific social media that you're trying to target?
Yeah, so in terms of the monopoly that we did see, it was mainly around Meta, the umbrella of the apps that fall under Meta. We found that there was a huge monopoly there, and it was just an entirely unfair ecosystem. The way that they were basically using people's online behaviors and the content creators and not giving them any reward for the content they were creating.
Yeah. Now, your social, because I looked at your light paper, right? And currently, you only have a light paper on there. I didn't see a technical paper or white paper. I'm assuming that will be coming out very shortly, right?
Yes, so post-launch, we're going to have a full technical white paper being released to the community so they can see exactly how we've planned out what we're going to be doing, how all the functions will work, and what kind of plugins that we're going to be using for the app as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I look forward to seeing the technical side of it. Now, you mentioned that you're looking at Meta, which is Facebook, right? Facebook, which is Meta now. And you saw problems within that platform. Now, is your platform that's going to be almost like identical to Facebook, but I got cut off again, didn't I? I think something's wrong with my phone.
Just slightly.
Okay, so my question is, when you guys looked at Meta and you saw the problems that exist within its platform, now, is your platform that's going to gear towards kind of similar to Facebook or Meta right now? Or is it something also a mixture of kind of like YouTube and other social media platform as well?
Yeah, so we do want it to be quite a media-rich platform. We do want to offer the best, basically, of all the platforms that are out there, because that's one of the issues that we found when we were looking at other social media Web3 apps that were out there. It's just that there was no comparison in terms of what their platform had to offer in terms of a rich media experience for users. So it will be a very media-rich platform, and when I say that, I mean the ability you're going to be able to live stream, you're going to be able to edit your photos and videos. I mean, some of the platforms that are out there that I had a look at, you couldn't even put a filter on a photo. And people love that kind of stuff. Users of these platforms love that kind of stuff. And it's the minimum that you can offer, really, if you're providing a social media platform. So it will be a mix of a media-rich experience, being the likes of Instagram and TikTok, and then also a Twitter as well, so that there will be that platform for speech and freedom of speech, which we are very passionate about.
Amazing. Yes, that's actually one of the questions I was going to ask you is, what is your stand on freedom of speech? Can you elaborate on that a little bit more, Alex?
Yeah, so we are very, that is one of the reasons why that we got into this as well, because we've seen that as of late there has been a lot of political interference with these platforms. And so that's something that we really want to hand over to the community in terms of moderation. There has to be moderation, obviously, around, nudity and violence and that kind of stuff. So there definitely has to be some kind of moderation, but we want to make it so that it's community moderated. And something that we're wanting to look at working into the platform as well is a way that we can have community moderators and have their trust ranking basically upvoted by the community, and this will give us a very good idea of where the values of the community lie.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the reason why Elon took over Twitter, right? Because he believed in freedom of speech. So we'll see how that plays out. But that was one of the biggest factors why he wanted to buy Twitter and take it over. Perfect. So it looks like you guys did think about the process and the importance of freedom of speech, which is great.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the pain points that we find within the industry as well. And that is, like you said, it's a very well-known pain point for the likes of Elon Musk as well.
Yeah, except for he has 300 billion, right, to spend, something like that.
Exactly. So how about you guys tweet Elon Musk for me? We'll see what we can do.
There you go. Maybe we can help you form a partnership with them.
Exactly. Wouldn't that be nice?
All right, guys. I thank you for those amazing answers, Alex. Very detailed answer. Look like you guys have put a lot of thoughts into your process and your project. That's all I have for my end as far as question goes. Actually, you know what, Alex? One thing that I missed is the tax on it. Can you speak of the tax a bit?
Yeah, so we've just got a 7% tax while we're on the Binance Smart Chain, and 5% of that is marketing and development. 2% of that will be going to liquidity. But once we migrate over into our own blockchain, there will be no more tax.
Amazing. So around 6 months from now, you guys will eliminate the tax, which is right now you say 10%. Or did I hear that correctly?
7%. So at 7% at the moment, we'd wanted to try and keep it as low as possible. And that's the number we came out with, that we saw fit to be able to manage marketing and development up until the point where we are able to migrate over to our own blockchain and have our MVP there ready to start generating ad revenue.
That's perfect. I think the 7% tax, 5% for marketing development, and 2% liquidity, I think that's very reasonable. And you guys will eliminate that within 6 months, around 6 months when you guys launch your own blockchain. I think that's amazing. I think, real projects, they don't really need tax, to be honest. Yeah. So I think you guys kind of heading that way. And I like the confidence that you guys will eliminate the tax. I think that's great. That's all I have.
We wanted to just show a commitment to our community, basically, that once we are over on our blockchain, that we are going to be working very hard on that business development side of things and making sure that we are generating income for the platform and getting those users on board.
Perfect. Now, for those who are listening, so once DeMe Network launches their blockchains, you're going to generate revenue through marketing, money from marketing, advertisement. And part of that, you said 70%, part of that money, the 70% would be redistributed back to the people that are on the platform. Is that right, Alex?
Yes, absolutely. And another thing that we would like to point out as well is that anybody that's wanting to advertise on our platform, they actually have to purchase our currency to be able to purchase that ad space. And so essentially, even if you're holding that and all these businesses are purchasing ad space, it's increasing the value of what you're holding as well.
Perfect. Now, if you can speak on, we know that, every business concept, right, we do need user base. Can you speak on a bit on how, what are the plans to bring people on board, like businesses to content creators?
Yeah, so obviously being in the social media industry, one of the main ways that we are going to be looking at getting users on board is targeting influencers and creating partnership with these influencers to put partnerships in place where we can get them over onto our platform, and ideally we'll be looking at getting them over onto our platform exclusively and bringing over those followings, and or even doing partnerships where they're posting to our platform first while still over on their existing platforms, and then gradually moving over the more user base that they get over onto our platform. And so that's targeted influencer marketing, and that's the way we're going to get users on board that way. We also want to do a lot of education as well around what we're trying to do and doing a lot of brand awareness. And like I said, a lot of that comes down to educating people about the platform and creating a very familiar experience for them, so that we are tapping into those users that aren't already in this space.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks for that, Alex. That's all I have on my end. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor for questions. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and feel free. The mic is open, so turn the mic on and ask.
We do have quite a few questions in the announcement channel. So after everybody's done with their questions, we can move on to those as well.
Yeah, perfect, Mike. If you can help me with that, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. All right, let's kick it off with the first question. First question is from Whiskey Man. I don't see the technical side, how they are going to be different, such as payout, etc. Is there an actual technical paper?
So our technical white paper is going to be coming about 2 weeks after launch, and that's when the community will be able to see the actual technical breakdown of what we will be doing.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Hopefully that answers your question there, Whiskey. Next question is from Hagite. What are the policies towards what are the policies towards copyrighted materials in the platform, and what tools are or will there be designed for its management?
Great, and this is actually a question that we get quite a lot, and that's something that we will have to break down with our developer team in terms of how we're going to be able to manage, and it will be detailed in our white paper as well, as how we're going to be able to manage copyrighted materials and making sure that everything is above board in that sense.
Awesome, thank you for that. I got you 1 second, buddy. Sorry, my son's right next to me. Next question is from Sherix B. What percentage of the ad revenue will be allocated to the content creators?
So that's the 70% of ad revenue. So majority of our ad revenue is going out to all users, and it's not just content creators. Essentially, everybody on these platforms are content creators, some more active than others, but you will also be getting rewarded for your everyday activities as well, which includes interacting with their content as well, which means liking, sharing, watching videos, and we will be putting measures in place so that watching a video for 2 seconds and then watching it for the full length of the video are assigned different values.
Awesome. I love it. Great answer to that, Alex. Next question is from Frankie. It's a couple-part question. I will read one at a time. First question is, how much do you think it will cost to run a layer 1 blockchain?
Sorry, and in terms of how much it'll cost, in terms of development?
Well, we'll come back to that. Maybe you'll answer. Next question is, I see you want to raise about 90K, 70% in liquidity. Do you only have around 20K to run social media account plus a blockchain? I assume that you want to rely on taxes from buys and sells. If yes, do you think the bear market would make you collect enough taxes on buys and sells to run a social media and blockchain?
That's a very good question, and we have been getting that question a lot given the current market conditions. And so we are in the initial stages. So our project is based off of milestones, and that's how we're going to be able to fund that going forward. And then a part of that is allocated to marketing as well. So we're going to be using a lot of our milestone development to be able to keep pushing the marketing and keep pushing out and getting new investors on board so that we can. Sorry, I think there's a little bit of feedback if somebody's unmuted.
Yeah, there is. I'm looking for it right now. I'm not seeing it, but I'm sorry. Go ahead. Proceed.
Yeah, and so that's something that we're looking to do, is just making sure that we're keeping that hype in the community, and we're always reaching out and finding new investors to make sure that we can keep the chart looking healthy, because that is something that is very important in this market as well. And another aspect to it as well is with the development as well of our blockchain, we will be also reaching out to funding as well.
Awesome. Thank you for that answer. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lily.
Hi, sorry, I had a question. Where do you guys see yourselves in 2 years from now?
2 years from now, we see us having our basically our social media platform with a very heavy user base, and us also doing a lot of innovation on our blockchain as well, and incubating a lot of other projects so that we can grow the ecosystem as a whole. So our priority at the moment is getting our blockchain and our social media dApp out there, and then come 2 years we want to be incubating other projects on our blockchain as well.
Okay, thank you.
No worries at all.
Thank you for that, Lily. Our next question is from Alodi. It's a two-part question. First question is, what are the limits to the content that will be posted on your platform? And are you also looking at giving verified badges to popular content creators or influencers on your platform?
Cool. So I might need a little bit of clarification on in terms of limits to what you can post. Does that tie into like content moderation? And then in terms of verified badges, yes, we are looking at two options. So basically it's like a KYC badge, whether we can do an automated process where this person has verified who they are. It's not a requirement of the platform. And then yes, also for influencers as well. We will be doing like a verified badge similar to the likes of a Twitter blue tick.
Good answer. Thank you, Alex. Second question to Elodie here is, different geographical areas have different laws governing social media. How does DeMe Network tackle with authorities?
So that's something that we're going to have to tackle as we branch out. So our focus at the moment is getting that MVP out there. And as we start growing into these different geographical areas, so we begin to market in those areas, that is something that we're going to have to engage with legal teams with to be able to make sure that we are meeting the requirements, or there's a way that we are able to make sure that our platform is accessible to everybody no matter where they are.
Great. I hope that answers your question there, Elodie. Next question is from Dr. Mikey. If you build a blockchain that lends itself towards social media and invites other projects to launch on it, won't they become competitors to your own app?
Essentially, yes, they could become competitors to our own app. But at the end of the day, if they're building these great platforms on our blockchain, it contributes to our whole ecosystem as a whole. So whether they're a competitor or not, it's still helping the ecosystem.
Great answer. Hope that answers you, Dr. Mikey. Next one is from Alex Costa. I have seen that large investors, such as whales, can buy large amounts of tokens during an offer, which gives them the manipulation power. What solutions does DeMe offer to stabilize the use of the tokens and avoid harmful manipulations?
So with our presale, and even when we migrate, we're going to have max wallets basically, so that nobody can own more than 1% of the supply.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I got to limit that sometimes. Next question is from Arnessa. As you all know, the value of the token is very important to the investors. So my question here is, how do you plan to maintain the value of your token when it comes to day-to-day changes of the market?
So market in this point in time is extremely important, and it's very volatile at the moment. And we see that if we are able to get our project through this point in time, then we're going to have no problem whatsoever when we get back to somewhat of a normal market. And I think a lot of that does come down to marketing as well. Marketing is hugely important when it comes to making sure that enough people are aware of your project, and then you're able to get the word out there and people are wanting to invest in your project. So that's something that we have a very heavy focus on.
Good answer. Thank you for that, Alex. Next question is from Jack. I really want to hold a good amount of the token, but I need to be sure of its profitability. What are the advantages of holding your token, and also where are we going to buy it? What is a token use case, and how does it capture the value of the ecosystem you're building?
Absolutely. So when it comes to the value of our token, something that I haven't actually touched on yet, which I probably should have, is the fact that with our social media dApp, we really want to implement a marketplace very similar to what Facebook has. And that way we're really giving, a tangible, real life value to that token. So people can go and list, buy and sell goods within the platform as well. And there's not going to be the reason to be selling it for your fiat currency.
Like that. And let's see. Next question is from Mr. Fabilo. How much do you think it will cost to run actually, this question has already been asked. Next question is from Cheryl. There's a 4-part question. I'll read one at a time. First question is, I see many projects have a problem with UI and UX. And this is one turnoff of new investors. How do you plan on to improve the interaction with users and with new users and with users outside of the crypto space?
Absolutely, and this is something I've touched on in a few AMAs as well, and what I've said here too is that giving people that soft introduction to crypto, a familiar user experience to what they're used to, and that's something that is very, very important to us when it comes to UI and UX, because first impressions do mean a lot. And so when people are coming over, we want them to feel comfortable with the technology and we don't want them feeling overwhelmed. So we're doing a lot of research into, the major players out there and why people find it so easy to, jump on these platforms, use them and stay there.
100% right. Sometimes you come into these things and they're just simply too complex to understand. So if you're going to break that down, that's absolutely amazing. Second question here from Cheryl is, what are your major goals to achieve in the next 3 to 4 years? And what are your plans to expand and gain more adoption? And how does DeMe evaluate crypto participants' understanding about your project?
Great. So just going to have to rewind a little bit. Do you want to break that down for me and just do one of them at a time? Because I was kind of answering them in my head as you were going, but just the first part of that, do you want to hit me with that?
I'm sorry about that, Alex. Yeah, first part is, what is your major goals to achieve in the next 3 to 4 years?
Perfect. So it's basically, like I said before, even like 2 to 4 years. So our 2-year plan, as I mentioned before, is basically building out our social media dApp and really growing that and bringing over a whole lot of new users that aren't even in the space already. And then following that is improving that system and also then incubating and innovating on our platform so that we have so many other platforms and projects that are being developed on our blockchain that we really become this hub for everything decentralized media.
That's great. I think that pretty much answers the second question here of what are your plans to expand and gain more adoption. So we'll skip on to the next one here is, how does DeMe evaluate crypto participants understanding your project? I guess that more pertains about how does you vet the people coming into your project to use your service?
Sorry, do you just want to summarize for me again? I just didn't quite understand the question.
Sure. How does DeMe evaluate crypto participants' understanding about your project? And the best I can assume that question means is, how do you vet the people using your service?
Okay, so that then again comes down to that education that I was talking about as well, and just making sure that our marketing that we're doing for brand awareness and education is just very easy to break down and digest for people that aren't in the space. And we will see a lot of that with the users that start flowing in, whether they are new users or, users from the space. And that's how we'll be able to evaluate whether or not our techniques for marketing are working, and making sure that we are educating these people, these new users, and making sure that the platform that we're offering is easy to use. And we're going to be doing a lot of feedback from the community and making sure that what we're offering to them is very easy to use for somebody who is new to the space.
That's great. I hope that answers your question there, Cheryl. Very user-friendly is always key. Let's see. Third question here from Cheryl. I think most of this has been answered already, but I'll run through it. The current market situation is quite worrying, especially for the projects that are being launched at the moment. So I would like to know if DeMe has a solid team, important partnerships, and what type of market strategies to help them in these unstable times.
Absolutely, and like I said, a lot of it does come down to marketing and making sure that we do have the right people in place to ensure the success of our project. So we do have partnerships that we are looking into to strengthen our position in the market, and a lot of that will come after launch, so that we are able to get past that. And we also, being a new project, need to be able to prove what we're capable of as well. And so a lot of those partnerships will start to come and be finalized once we get past launch and are able to prove what we're able to do even in the current market.
I like it. Sounds like a good plan. Last question here from Cheryl is, moving forward through your roadmap here, what are the most important parts, or what's your most important next priority? There's a couple parts to this. I'll stop there.
Cool. So we basically break all of our milestones down, and so the most important thing now is getting through pre-sale, launch, and then ensuring that we do have a healthy launch. And then it is then focusing on the development, and that's the exciting part for us, is then making sure that we develop this right, and that we get a lot of community feedback, and making sure that it is something that's easily adoptable, and that's the most exciting part for us.
For that, Alex. Second part of that question, actually last part of that question, does the DeMe team have enough fundamentals such as funds in the community to achieve these milestones?
Yeah, we do. So in terms of where we are at the moment, when we do launch, that will be able to give us enough funds to get through our first 2 milestones, and on top of that, having enough funds there to keep marketing and to be attracting those new investors. And so we do have plans in place for how we're going to do that as well, to make sure that we keep the ball rolling.
Awesome. Yeah, always got to have a plan for the marketing, especially in these types of scenarios, or times, I should say. Next question is from JX Fret. How many team members do you have? Yeah. And do they have enough experience to work in the blockchain field? Yeah. And almost the same question. Do they have the experience on working on crypto and non-crypto projects?
Yeah, so we ran through the core team basically right at the beginning of the AMA, and so that is myself and Casey, who are the founders. We've also got Cleo on board and her in her area of expertise is marketing. Casey and I are more business development and management, and I have a background in offering tech solutions here in New Zealand. And then a lot of our team are international, and we do work with teams that are experienced in their fields, and that includes the marketing team that we partnered with for pre-sale marketing, and then also who we've partnered with for the development, who are very, very, very experienced in what they do, and we'll be able to announce who they are post-launch.
Awesome, man. Looking forward to that. Hopefully that answers your question there, Jex. Next question is, and I'm loving the community engagement here. Next question is from Alfaro. Many blockchain projects are on paper only, and no product or product has no practical meaning. Please let us know, what is your project currently practical product in use? What are your plans for the product to be better in the future?
I might need you to summarize that one for me, if you can.
Absolutely. Let's see. Let's break it down here. Many blockchain projects are on paper only, and they don't have a product to produce with no practical meaning. So please let us know, what is your current practical product that you will be using?
So from my assessment on that is, Alex, it seems like he's asking for utility. So I think that's one of those generic questions. We can go ahead and skip that, because I think we've been talking about the utility in this whole AMA session. So we can go ahead and skip that question.
You got it, brother. All right, moving on. Dejoit, hopefully I didn't say your name wrong here. Your question is, your project is very important, but it needs a large use of traffic to sustain over time. What marketing strategies have you planned to increase the validity of your brand, and are you planning a strategic partnership to level up your project? I guess that one's almost been answered as well already.
Yeah, so I think, Alex, amazing answers and amazing questions. But I think for those that are still having questions, if you guys can go ahead and join DeMe Network into the Telegram and ask questions in their room, that'd be great. So I think we should probably move on. Mike, what do you think?
I got a pretty good question.
1 second, Matt. I just got this one last question here from Billy. It's a little off topic from the other ones, the generic. You guarantee your investors participating in the presale will 3x their investment. Forgive me, but I think it's difficult to achieve these in these marketing conditions. If you cannot reach this goal, how can you surprise your investors participating in the presale? That one, I don't know, maybe that's a little hard on that question. I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. I mean, we haven't guaranteed anything in terms of X's, but we do have a very thorough strategy in place to ensure that we do get healthy growth from the pre-sale and launch.
That wraps it up for all the questions. Matt, if you got a question, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, sure. A question I had, since you are going to be migrating to a blockchain, is do you have any benefits in mind for people that either do the pre-sale or are holders that maybe hold a certain amount before the migration occurs, to where they could possibly get in on another pre-sale that you have on the blockchain, or some kind of a early insider bonus?
That's a really good question, and that's definitely something that we can potentially have a look at for people who were basically in right from the start. We're always open to that, and we love to know that we've got a loyal community base there. So definitely something that we're open to.
Thanks for that question, Matt, and thanks for that answer, Alex. Yeah, great questions, guy. After this, we will do a little giveaway, which you guys will go into the room and you guys have a chance to win a little cash prize. But also, if you guys have more questions, to ask the questions in their room as well. We want to be respectful towards Alex. We don't want to keep her here for a very long time. I'm not sure what time it's over in Switzerland, but I'm assuming it's pretty late over there. Yeah, Alex?
Oh, no, we're all good. It's midday here, and I absolutely love chatting with the community, and I love having questions. I love being able to talk about my project, so I don't mind at all.
Perfect. But I think Mike did get the last question on it. So thanks for that, Mike. Anyone else has questions on voice? Sounds great, Alex. Thanks for the AMA. Amazing AMA. A lot of questions threw at you and great detailed answers. So to recap, do you want to go ahead and give us a recap, Alex, and the last word on your project?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start off by saying thanks for having me here. I've really enjoyed talking with you all, and you've had some really awesome questions. Just a little reminder that our pre-sale is happening on Gempad on the 23rd of June at 5 PM UTC. And I think that we'll be having a little giveaway here soon as well. So yeah, feel free to drop into our community, say hello, ask some questions in the chat. I know that we'll have VC up and running every now and then, so you can always pop in and say hi there. But thanks again for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it, Alex. So for those that just came in, DeMe Network is set out to disrupt the traditional media platforms that are being controlled, monopolized, and monetized to their benefit, right? So what DeMe Network wants to do is they want to give you guys back 70% back to content creators and users within the platform. They will be launching a blockchain within the ecosystem, and the tax will be eliminated by then, around 6 months. And they will also have an NFT marketplace, an exchange, and as well as, what is the other thing that I missed there? A wallet. Is that correct, Alex? You all guys also will have a wallet within your ecosystem.
Sorry, I was just looking for my mic unmute button again, but yeah, no, you've covered it off.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think that wraps everything up, Alex. We're going to go ahead and do a giveaway now. Mike is going to pick 2 questions later. We're going to pick 2 questions. Two best questions for the cash prize. But also what we usually do is, Alex, we like to send people to your room to help raise awareness to your room as well, your Telegram room. Is that something that you want us to do? And what happened is that Mike will go over there and also pick a winner as well over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of missed you there, Alex. I think you got cut off there.
Yes, absolutely. That would be amazing.
Awesome.
I couldn't hear you. Mike, did you get that?
I did. She said it's absolutely good. So let me take it from here, brother. I want to congratulate Alex and Seattle for a great AMA tonight over in the USA Crypto Group. We have a little bit of cash to give away tonight, $100 total. We have $25 going to the 2 best questions for a total of $50. We also have $25 going to the person randomly that joins the DeMe Network Telegram group and says USA Crypto Group sent me. I'm sure Johnny is in the main group as we speak, telling you how to acquire that $25 participant. And then we also have one $25 for the wheel for a total of $100. So without further ado, let me hit shuffle a couple of times here. Let's grab our first winner off the wheel. Alex, after this AMA, I will be sure to get you guys a copy of the video and audio only for your records.
Perfect. That would be amazing.
Absolutely. At Michael, congratulations. You won yourself $25. All right. I will be sure to enter that in. Well, let me pull up the other page here. All right. That concludes our USA Crypto Group AMA with DeMe Network with Alex here in Seattle as our host. It was absolutely great. I will be over shortly, probably about 15 minutes. That way everybody has a chance to join your room and say who sent them. And I'm going to go through the vigorous questions here that was all put in by our group, as well as go over the audio of who had the best question on voice. And I'll pick an additional 2 $25 winners and make sure I have this all pinned and posted in about a half hour. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Mike. And also, Alex, if I understand it correctly, we do have some whitelist to give away as well, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, okay. I apologize. Let me reset this wheel and let's have some more fun.
I think we do have like around 6, Mike, to give away.
Got it, brother. Let me just grab these names here, all fresh. Bam. 138 back on the wheel. And you said 6, Seattle?
Yeah, I think we do have 6 to give away.
Shuffle, shuffle. Let's get some whitelist. All right. This is for DeMe Network. Let's get going. Let's see who our first winner is. 138 participants, by the way. This is our record tonight. I don't know if anyone noticed that. Johnny English. Won yourself a whitelist. Yeah, our previous all-time high was 134. So amazing night. Who's it gonna be? Hi, everybody. Won yourself a whitelist spot. I think you're new to the group. Congratulations. Who's it gonna be? Sprite 33X. Won yourself a whitelist spot for the DeMe Network. Congratulations. Who's that? Jack. Jack, you're always participating. I appreciate that. And congratulations. You won yourself a whitelist spot. Hope everybody, all the dads, had a great Father's Day yesterday, by the way. Sad boy. Won yourself a whitelist spot. Congratulations. You got one more rolling out here. Who's that? Date Gems. That's an unfamiliar face. Congratulations, and thank you for joining USA Crypto Group. Won yourself a whitelist spot. That concludes our giveaway currently. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks again, Alex. Casey, if you're still here. Really appreciate you guys coming to the USA Crypto Group. That was an amazing AMA. A lot of questions asked and amazing answers. I personally is very interested in the project. But again, this is not a financial advice. There's no commitment to the project. This AMA is strictly for research purposes only. So you guys can decide and make your for you. With that said, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Casey. And you guys make sure to join the DeMe Network Telegram and say USA Crypto Group send you. And Mike will be over there picking a one winner over there.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you, Alex. Great AMA tonight, guys. And I will end this recording now.